player that we need to keep our eye on in this play is this player in the slot right here. Now watch his action. He doesn't simulate the start of the play, but he is going to fall out of his stance. And this is one of the plays that we just want to shut this down as a false start. Now I'm not going to be able to run it while I'm talking because there's audio on this track for some reason. So just keep your eye on him, and we'll stop it and make some comments. Now I'll run that back because what we're going to do here is when they snap this ball, because he doesn't simulate the start of the play, he could reset, but he just falls out of his stance. When they snap that ball, let's just shut this down. This is just a false start. We'll just want to call it a false start, put it in the false start category, and we never have to run this play and try to call this illegal motion. We'll go ahead and run it again and get a look at it from the wide angle. And what I wanted to share with you too is another thing. This signal here, whatever it is, we don't need to signal these guys on or off the line of scrimmage. No reason to give any signal. This just distracts your partner and distracts you. All of your focus needs to be right in here, right down this line here, watching all these players. And if you know this may be some of the reason why we missed this call. It's because this line judge here's looking somewhere other than in this area that he needs to be officiating, which is just starting right here with the center and everything back out here. All four of these players he's going to have to watch for a false start. And the best way to do this, I think, is to find you a spot to focus on. I try to look at the shoulder of the center when he bends over to snap the ball, and keep your eyes stationary. If you try to move back and forth and officiate the whole neutral zone, your eyes are kind of wandering. It becomes a little more difficult for your brain to process movement, things coming in and out, who came in first, who moved first. But if you park your eyes and get stationary, I think this action of this slot receiver is in your peripheral vision, and you may have to lean one way on the line of scrimmage or the other so that you can see all four of these players. Let's watch the wide angle.
First down, ball at the 26.
Now here's where we need to have our eyes parked at a stationary spot inside on this interior line. Like I said, you may have to lean one way or the other, so you've got to be able to see this slot guy. You got to be able to see this player here. You got to be able to see this tackle and guard, and then you also want to be able to see the ball. And although we've got the umpire that we primarily want him focused on the ball and the snap, you know, it's good because obviously you're not going to know if somebody moves before the snap if you can't see the ball for line of scrimmage guys. So let's take a look at it now on this wide. No doubt, guys, that's a false start, and we want to make sure that we get those. It's an interesting play here. What we're going to get is this is a try for a point here after a touchdown, and what I want you to do is pay close attention to the action by the interior linemen, because they're going to go to we can't hear the cadence, but they're going to go to an abrupt three-point stance here. And if they do this every play the whole game, that's fine. But if they pop this out here on this try for point, then actually I think this action constitutes a false start. Take a look at it. It's very quick. Are they sure at the start of the play? That's the million-dollar question here. Look at it here from the wide shot. We'll catch him walking up the line too. Just think about those comments. Suspect for a false start, guys. We don't want any cheap lures and get the defense to jump in with an abrupt movement that would simulate the start of the play. Here we go. This is another great play, and we're going to start out talking. We're going to talk about several things here in this play, which is a great learning opportunity. First thing we want to talk about, and we've visited this in previous videos, but it's certainly worth talking about here. Let's define the line of scrimmage as being the waistline of the snapper, and obviously this player is not on the line of scrimmage here. This is an illegal formation. He's not, any part of his head is not breaking the waistband of the center. It's not. We're able to see from the head linesman's perspective here, if we were looking in where he's looking in, he's able to see the entire rear end of the center here, and this tackle is not in that frame at all. So he is beyond the area where we want to warn. This is a foul. So let's take a look at this play, and we're going to have a quick pitch out here to the flat in front of the line judge, and we're going to talk about several things as this play rolls through. I'll stop it because you won't be able to hear me because of the crowd noise here. I want to let this wide shot run. And let's talk, before we run this play anymore, let's talk about punching balls forward and backward here. The line judge is going to have that responsibility of ruling on forward or backward on this play, because it's going to come right at the line judge. And what we want to do is, forward passes, we don't want to punch those off at all. The only thing that we want to punch back is a backward pass, but not the snap. All snaps are backward passes, so we don't want to punch off the snap that's a backward pass. But when the quarterback passes forward or backward, then we want to make a ruling here. And if it's backward, we want to punch it back. Now, we want backward passes to be clearly backward. If we have to stop this and count yard lines and get a protractor out and measure whether it was forward or backward, we want all those to be forward. If they hit the ground, we're just going to rule them incomplete. So let's take a look at this play here and watch our mechanics of the line judge at the bottom of the screen. That's a tight play, but the line judge correctly rules this as forward. The only difference is we just don't want this forward punch. Just no signal at all indicates to everyone that it is a forward pass, because we know our mechanics are going to tell us that we're only going to punch off backward. Man, that's really, really tight. So let's take a look. We got the quarterback's release here just behind the 45-yard line. This ball lays out in the air, and the receiver's not even in the frame. Now he catches that ball. Where? Man, that is really, really tight. That is so tight that we certainly want this one to be ruled forward if it hits the ground. So that is a forward pass here behind the line of scrimmage. So if it were to hit the ground, we would have incomplete. Great job on ruling on this one, line judge. Just don't want you to use that signal punching it. Brings us to the second part of this play. You see this line judge now is winding the game clock on a play that goes about 17 or 18 yards. So let's go back to the beginning of the play here. We're going to see that we're going to snap the ball at about the 50-yard line. So we can see that the box man's set up here. So the line to gain is the 40-yard line. We can see the forward rod right here. So we need to put this in our pre-snap routine, line of scrimmage officials, that our line to gain is the 40-yard line. So any play that ends beyond the 40-yard line, we just want to give one signal, and that would be to stop the clock for a first down. We don't want to give a signal to wind the game clock and then stop the game clock, because we've let 2 or 3 seconds run off there, and we don't want to do that. At times that could be critical in the game, so just give us one signal. Let's there, we would just want to stop the clock.
All right,
we're going to take a look at an unnecessary roughness foul following an onside kick here. There's going to be a big pile up and a scramble. First thing that catches my eye here is we should be cutting the clock right here. This official coming off, the line judge coming off the field here, should have been stopping the clock as he ran in. Now we get our first flag. And there's our second flag. The umpire just says, well, hey, me too. Looked like a lot of fun throwing that flag. Look at it again from wide angle. I'm going to stop it here and point out player number 5 is who starts this. And I think the important message here is if we can figure out who is our instigator, and we have an overt act of unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness like we have here. Now watch him. He just throws that player off the pile. And then he draws a flag. And then I think the whole time we're looking for a second flag, and we throw that. And then the umpire gives us, he just comes up there late and just gives us a wing there. It goes about 8-9 yards on that little moon-shaped pie of a flag toss. But we go back here to this wide shot. You see here, here's player number 5. This is the player that's going to instigate it. Now he just grabs this red player who's in there fighting for the ball and throws him off the pile. Now we're going to unpile the players. We can't have the players do this. This is definitely a foul for unnecessary roughness. But then look at this. These other flags come out, and you really can't see anything that's going on except for these guys on the ground that are basically just competing for the ball. I think we get a good UNR here on this first player, number 5. And then I think these other flags are just a big waste of time and no real overt act that shows up on video. I don't like offsetting fouls. Sometimes we just have to have them, but by and large they're just a big waste of time. If 2 players do something at the exact same time, they're just going to be offsets. I would support just get in between those players and breaking them up. Now in this one we have a clear first act. It's a good pickup for a UNR. And this other stuff, I think we just ought to pull them apart and leave that alone and penalize the white team 15 yards for this unnecessary roughness foul. That's going to do it for our training tape this week. We would like to thank you for checking the tape out. Hope you got some good information off of it. Please share the tape with your entire crew. Great to go over it on Friday nights before your game. Get together, talk about the things that you're going to do in your game. Go over your complete pregame. And then get out there and have a great game. Until next week, this is Todd Allen with the Arkansas Association of High School Officials saying thanks for tuning in.